There's a particular kind of warmth that coastal and tropical homes do well, layered, unhurried, and lit in a way that feels like early evening all day long. A lot of that comes down to wall lighting. Tropical wall sconces are one of the easiest ways to bring that feeling into a room. They add light at eye level, which is inherently warmer than overhead fixtures, and when they're made from natural materials like rattan, bamboo, or woven fiber, they do double duty, functioning as both a light source and a textural accent. The result is a room that feels considered without being overdone. This guide covers the styles worth knowing, the rooms where tropical wall sconces work best, and the small placement decisions that make the difference between a sconce that looks installed and one that looks intentional. Whether you're designing a beach house from scratch or just looking to add some warmth to a bedroom or hallway, there's something here for you. What makes a wall sconce feel tropical? A wall sconce feels tropical when it draws from natural materials and organic forms, specifically the textures, tones, and silhouettes found in coastal and warm climate environments. This doesn't mean thatched roofs and seashell curtains. In well-designed spaces, tropical wall sconces tend to be subtle: a rattan shade in a warm amber tone, a brass arm with a woven fiber shade, a bamboo frame with clean lines. The tropical quality comes through in the material and the warmth of the light it casts, not in a heavy-handed theme. The key elements to look for: natural fiber shades, rattan, bamboo, jute, seagrass, and palm fiber are the materials most associated with tropical and coastal lighting. They diffuse light softly and cast warm, patterned shadows on the surrounding walls. Warm brass hardware. Brass is the metal that reads most naturally in coastal and tropical spaces. It has the same warm, sun-touched quality as the materials it's paired with, and it ages gracefully rather than looking dated. Organic silhouettes, shell-inspired curves, palm leaf forms, and dome or cone-shaped forms, grounded in nature, register as tropical without being literal. A simple woven dome sconce on a brass arm feels tropical without a single shell or palm print in sight. Warm bulb temperature. This one is often overlooked, but it matters more than the fixture itself. A beautiful rattan sconce with a cool daylight bulb will always feel off. Stick to 2700K 2900K warm white for any tropical or coastal scheme. For a well-curated mix of rattan and woven wall sconces that fit this aesthetic, Roaby Interiors offers a range of handcrafted options, including a dedicated tropical wall sconce collection that balances natural texture with clean, modern proportions. Tropical wall sconces work in almost any room, but they're most effective in rooms where you want warmth, texture, and a relaxed atmosphere rather than bright, functional overhead lighting. Tropical sconces make the most impact here. Flanking the bed with a pair of rattan or woven sconces eliminates the need for table lamps on small nightstands, frees up surface space, and creates a symmetrical, hotel-like quality that instantly elevates the room. The soft glow at eye level is ideal for winding down, much easier on the eyes than an overhead fixture at full brightness. Side-mounted sconces on either side of a bathroom mirror provide more flattering, even light than an overhead bar. In a coastal or tropical bathroom, think white subway tile, warm wood accents, a vessel sink, and a pair of rattan or brass sconces, which brings the same relaxed texture as the rest of the space. Even one sconce beside a mirror in a powder room adds significant character. They are often the most neglected areas for lighting in a home. A single recessed light in the ceiling creates flat, functional illumination that does nothing for the space. A series of tropical wall sconces spaced evenly down a hallway transforms it from a thoroughfare into a transition, warm, intentional, and worth noticing. In a living room, tropical sconces work best as accent and ambient lighting rather than as the primary source. A sconce beside a bookcase, flanking a fireplace, or mounted near a gallery wall creates depth and dimension that ceiling light simply can't provide. In a coastal or tropical living room, especially, wall sconces at eye level reinforce the relaxed, low-to-the-ground energy that the style is known for. First impressions matter, and a pair of tropical wall sconces flanking a console table or mirror in an entryway sets the tone for everything that follows. It signals warmth and intentionality the moment someone walks in. For homeowners with a screened porch, lanai, or covered outdoor space, outdoor-rated tropical sconces extend the interior feeling outdoors. Coastal lantern styles and weather-resistant woven shades work particularly well here. They withstand humidity while reinforcing the home's overall aesthetic. 7 tropical wall sconce styles to consider. Rattan woven sconce, the most versatile option. A rattan shade on a simple brass or black arm works in bedrooms, living rooms, hallways, and entryways. The woven texture casts gentle, patterned light and reads as both natural and refined. Look for tight, even weaves for a more polished look or looser, organic weaves for a more relaxed, beachy feel. Bamboo frame sconce. Bamboo brings a slightly more structured, architectural quality to tropical lighting. Bamboo frame sconces tend to have cleaner lines than rattan, making them a good fit for spaces that lean toward Japandi or modern tropical rather than classic coastal. Paired with a linen or paper shade inside, they create a layered, warm glow. Palm leaf-inspired sconce. These sconces reference the form of palm fronds, fan shapes, layered petal-like structures, and upward-reaching silhouettes. They're more decorative than a simple rattan dome, and work best in spaces where the sconce is meant to be a focal point. A single palm-inspired sconce abo 4. Shell and coastal texture sconce. Natural shell, capes, or sea glass textures diffuse light in a uniquely beautiful way. It's softer and more prismatic than woven fiber. These work best in bathrooms, powder rooms, and entryways where they can be appreciated up close. They lean more into the literal coastal aesthetic, so pair them with restrained surroundings to keep the look from feeling themed. 5. Coastal lantern sconce. A classic lantern form in black iron, bronze, or aged brass reads as nautical and coastal without being kitschy. This style is particularly good for entryways, covered porches, and any space that benefits from a more traditional or heritage-influenced look. It's the tropical sconce equivalent of a timeless piece. It will still look right in 10 years. Woven shade sconce. Broader than just rattan, this category includes any sconce with a hand-woven shade, jute, seagrass, abaca, or natural fiber blends. The weave adds texture and warmth, and the variety of patterns and densities means there's a woven shade for almost every level of light diffusion you need. Warm brass arm sconce. Sometimes the simplest option is the most effective. A warm brass wall sconce with a minimal shade, or even a bare Edison-style bulb in the right setting, adds the metallic warmth of the tropics without relying on natural fiber at all. Brass pairs naturally with white walls, warm wood, and linen textiles, making it one of the most adaptable finishes in coastal design. How to pair tropical wall sconces with wall colors. The wall color behind a tropical sconce affects how warm and dimensional the light looks. Here's what works well. White and off-white are the most forgiving backgrounds. They make the sconce become the textural focal point, and the warm light bounces cleanly off the wall. Crisp white makes rattan and brass pop. Warm off-white, with yellow or pink undertones, makes the whole combination feel softer and more relaxed. Sandy beige and warm taupe are ideal for a full coastal or tropical scheme. These colors already carry the warmth of sand and sun-bleached wood, so a rattan or woven sconce feels completely at home. The light blends rather than contrasts, creating a seamless, layered effect. Sage green is one of the best pairings for tropical sconces right now. The muted green reads as botanical and nature-adjacent, which makes rattan and bamboo fixtures feel completely natural against it. It's a more sophisticated take on the tropical theme, less beach house, more indoor garden. Soft blue and seafoam lean into the coastal reference more directly. Light blue walls behind warm rattan or brass sconces create an immediate sense of ocean and sky. It's a classic combination for a reason. Keep the blue muted and chalky rather than bright to avoid the room feeling like a children's beach-themed bathroom. Terracotta and clay bring Mediterranean and tropical warmth in equal measure. These walls read as earthy and sun-warmed, which pairs beautifully with bamboo, brass and woven fiber. It's a bolder choice, but in the right room, a dining room or a bedroom with natural wood furniture, it's deeply effective. Placement tips for a designer-led look. Getting the placement right matters as much as choosing the right sconce. A beautiful fixture in the wrong position still looks wrong. Beside a bed, mount sconces so the center of the shade sits at roughly 60 to 65 inches from the floor, about shoulder height when you're sitting up in bed. This positions the light perfectly for reading without shining directly in your eyes. Keep them symmetrical and at equal heights on both sides. Flanking a mirror for bathroom vanity placement, mount sconces at eye level on either side of the mirror, typically 60-65 inches, from the floor to the center of the fixture. The mirror should sit between them with a few inches of clearance on each side. This creates even, shadow-free light across the face, which is both flattering and functional. Above a console table, a sconce centered above a console table in an entryway or hallway should sit high enough to clear anything on the table surface, usually 6 to 8 inches above the tallest object. If you're flanking the console with two sconces instead, space them at roughly 1/3 and 2/3 of the console's width for visual balance. Framing artwork, sconces used to flank a piece of art should be positioned at the artwork's vertical midpoint, not at the top or bottom. This draws the eye to the art itself and creates a gallery-like presentation. Use warm-toned bulbs here. Art always looks better in warm light. Hallway spacing, for a series of sconces down a hallway, space them 6 to 8 feet apart and mount them at consistent heights, typically 60 to 72 inches from the floor. Consistency is everything in hallway lighting. Even a slight variation in height becomes immediately noticeable. Common mistakes to avoid going too heavy on the theme. The most common mistake in tropical and coastal decorating is treating it like a costume. If your sconces, rug, throw pillows, and wall art all feature shells, rattan, and palm prints simultaneously, the room stops feeling like a home and starts feeling like a resort gift shop. Let the sconces carry the natural texture and keep the rest of the room restrained. Wrong scale. A sconce that's too small for a wall disappears. One that's too large crowds the space, creating a visual imbalance. As a general rule, wall sconces in living rooms and bedrooms should have a shade diameter of 6 to 10 inches. For hallways and entryways, slightly smaller is better. You don't want them dominating a narrow space. Using cool or daylight bulbs. This can't be overstated. A 5000 K daylight bulb in a rattan sconce ruins the effect entirely. It strips the material of its warmth and makes the room feel clinical. Always use 2700 K 2900 K warm white bulbs in any tropical or coastal fixture. Mounting too high. Many homeowners default to mounting sconces near the ceiling out of habit, or because that's where the existing wiring is. Sconces mounted too high cast light that pulls at the ceiling rather than at eye level, which does very little to enhance warmth or atmosphere. If you need to relocate the wiring to get the placement right, it's usually worth it. Using only one source of light. A sconce works best as part of a layered lighting scheme. If your room relies entirely on wall sconces without any ambient or task light to complement them, the result will be atmospheric but not particularly functional. Pair your tropical sconces with a floor lamp, a pendant, or recessed lighting to give yourself flexibility across different times of day. Final thoughts. Tropical wall sconces work because they bring two things a room often lacks: warmth at eye level and natural wall texture. Done well, they make a space feel relaxed and intentional without requiring a complete redesign. Start with one room, one pair, and the right bulb temperature. The rest usually follows naturally. Subscribe for more ideas.